Hello, everyone, and welcome to English Pod. My name is Marco.
My name is Catherine, and we're talking about the stars today.
That's right. Today, we're going to talk about a very popular subject. Many people believe in the horoscope.
So a horoscope is basically a system, very old system, of determining your future and describing your personality. And so it all depends on when you were born and where you were born. So what stars were in the sky when you were born?
That's right. So basically, as many of you may know, there are 12 signs. And we're going to talk about a couple of them and a little bit more about horoscopes and this, I don't know, I guess it's kind of like a branch of science or...
Yeah, pseudoscience.
Pseudoscience.
Yeah, I don't think there's much testing that's going on, but it's definitely something that a lot of people believe in. So let's take a listen to today's dialogue, and we'll be back in a moment to talk more about it.
Hey, Lydia, what are you reading?
I'm looking at my horoscope for this month. My outlook is very positive. It says that I should take a vacation to someplace exotic and that I will have a passionate summer fling.
What are you talking about? Let me see that. What are horoscopes?
It's a prediction of your month based on your zodiac sign. You have a different sign for the month and date you were born in. I was born on April 15th, so I'm an Aries. When were you born?
January 5th.
Let's see. You're a Capricorn. It says that you'll be feeling stress at work, but you could see new, exciting developments in your love life. Looks like we'll both have interesting summers.
That's bogus. I don't feel any stress at work, and my love life is practically non-existent. This zodiac stuff is all a bunch of nonsense.
No, it's not. Your astrology sign can tell you a lot about your personality. See, it says that an Aries is energetic and loves to socialize.
Well, you certainly match those criteria, but they're so broad they could apply to anyone. What does it say about me?
A Capricorn is serious-minded and practical. She likes to do things in conventional ways. That sounds just like you.
All right, we're back. So a very interesting dialogue between these two girls talking about one of them believing in the horoscope and the other one doesn't. But they mentioned a lot of interesting things, so we're going to have two language takeaways today. Let's start with language takeaway part 1.
Language takeaway.
All right, so one of the most common things you'll hear when we talk about the horoscope in English is an outlook. And an outlook can be positive or negative. So what exactly is an outlook?
Well, if you notice, Lydia said, my outlook is very positive. So basically, she's talking about her future.
Right, so the way that she sees the future, or the way that the horoscope talks about the future, is a positive one. So you could say, you know those 8 balls? They're black and they have like a message, and you shake it and it gives you a message.
You ask a question.
You ask a question and it says outlook positive.
That's right.
Outlook negative. So that means in your near future, things will either be positive or negative.
So I guess you can apply it, for example, to a company. You say that a company has a positive outlook.
Or even a person. You know, he's a very positive person, so he has a positive outlook. He thinks good things are going to happen.
Okay, very good. So talking about horoscopes, obviously we must mention the 12 zodiac signs.
Okay, so each month has its own sign, and they're not exactly the months. They're a little bit different, but each sign is a kind of an animal or a symbol.
That's right.
So, for example, a lot of August is part of the Leo sign in English. So that's the lion, and so the lion is the animal, the zodiac.
So the zodiac sign is one of these signs. Like Leo is one of the zodiac signs. And I guess all 12 signs are considered the zodiac or the horoscope.
Exactly. And you can actually talk about the zodiac in terms of other cultures. There is a Chinese zodiac. So we could say it's the year of the horse. But that's a little bit different from what we're talking about here with the Western horoscope.
Okay, very good. So all of this actually comes down to the, as we said, the pseudoscience or the branch called astrology.
Astrology. So this is a very hard word for some people to remember because they want to say astronomy. But it's different. Astronomy is the scientific study of the skies, the stars, planets, things like that. Astrology is different. It's what we're talking about here, the horoscope, and reading the stars to understand what our personal futures will hold for us.
That's right. So astronomy is an exact science part of, I guess, physics, where you talk about the stars or the composition of the stars and their movements. Whereas in astrology, we're talking about zodiacs and horoscopes and basically what star was in the sky when you were born, but in a different way. It's not very scientific.
That's right. So astrology is normally what you would see in the newspaper when you're trying to find your horoscope, astrology or horoscope.
And actually, every time you read the newspaper, if you look up your zodiac sign, it makes a prediction about your day or your week, or maybe even sometimes the month or year.
That's right. And so a prediction is basically a guess about what will happen for you.
That's right. So many times you see that the horoscope will say, finances are in trouble. Be careful with how you spend your money. So they're making a prediction that in the future, maybe you're going to have money problems, so you have to be careful.
Exactly. Or in the dialogue, you will have a passionate summer fling. This is a prediction. It has not yet happened. It will happen.
That's right. That's right. A prediction. So now talking a little bit more about the zodiac signs that we saw in the dialogue, we mentioned two, Aries and Capricorn.
So a lot of people who believe in astrology say that astrological signs are broken up. They're divided into different kinds of sign. We have water signs, air signs, earth signs, and fire signs. And so one of the famous fire signs is Aries, right?
Aries.
It's like the god of war in the Greek mythology.
That's right. And so it's pronounced Aries. Aries.
A-R-I-E-S. Aries. That's right.
And the other one is a Capricorn.
Capricorn. So that's like a goat?
Yeah, it's kind of like a ram.
A ram.
So
it's like an earth sign.
That's right. So there are 12. These are just two of them. And obviously there are a lot more. I guess off the top of my head, we have Taurus or Leo. There's also a Scorpio.
Sagittarius,
Gemini, which are like twins, twin people. There's Pisces,
Virgo,
and Virgo the Virgin. And I don't know if we're missing anything.
I can't think now. We'll have to talk about it at the very end of today's lesson. But we actually have some interesting things to talk about in a minute here. We have to talk about the personality characteristics that are common when you're talking about different zodiac signs.
Okay, so before we get to that, let's listen to our dialogue again.
Hey, Lydia, what are you reading?
I'm looking at my horoscope for this month. My outlook is very positive. It says that I should take a vacation to someplace exotic and that I will have a passionate summer fling.
What are you talking about? Let me see that. What are horoscopes?
It's a prediction of your month based on your zodiac sign. You have a different sign for the month and date you were born in. I was born on April 15th, so I'm an Aries. When were you born?
January 5th.
Let's see. You're a Capricorn. It says that you'll be feeling stress at work, but you could see new, exciting developments in your love life. Looks like we'll both have interesting summers.
That's bogus. I don't feel any stress at work, and my love life is practically non-existent. This zodiac stuff is all a bunch of nonsense.
No, it's not. Your astrology sign can tell you a lot about your personality. See, it says that an Aries is energetic and loves to socialize.
Well, you certainly match those criteria, but they're so broad they could apply to anyone. What does it say about me?
A Capricorn is serious-minded and practical. She likes to do things in conventional ways. That sounds just like you.
All right, we're back. So now let's take a look at these personality traits on Language Takeaway Part 2.
Language Takeaway.
All right, so one of the great words that we heard in today's dialogue was exotic, okay? And this is not necessarily describing a person, but usually things, or clothes or places. And in this instance, it was some place exotic.
That's right.
What's an exotic place?
It's basically a place that's very unique, and I guess it's kind of not common to go there or to find. For example, many people talk about an exotic getaway, going to the jungle, because it's so exotic. You have so many strange animals and plants, and everything is so unfamiliar.
Right. So in my mind, Tahiti is very exotic. All right. It's full of jungle, and there's also beaches, and it's very unusual for someone who's from America because it's just so far away.
That's right. Exotic. So someone can also have an exotic personality because maybe they're a little bit strange, or not strange, but not so common, maybe unique.
Yeah. Although exotic is usually kind of a sexy thing when you're talking about people.
That's right.
You know, she looks very exotic. That means she doesn't look like everybody else here.
That's right. But another adjective to describe someone's personality is somebody that's very energetic.
All right. So energetic sounds like the word energy. That's because they're related. And so someone who is energetic has lots of energy. He or she, likes to do a lot of things and wants to always go places. And, the energetic person at your office, they always drink coffee.
That's right.
Maybe they make everyone else really tired just listening to them.
That's right. And actually, a person that's energetic usually also loves to socialize.
That's right. So loves to means they like to, but they like it a lot, right? But to socialize means to talk to other people, or to go to parties, or to meet new people.
So if it's a verb, to socialize means to talk to people, to meet people, to greet people. You love to have contact with other people.
So yeah, you're right. Very, very common for people who are energetic.
Okay. And what about someone that's practical? What is that like?
Someone who's practical does a lot of things. Maybe someone who's practical always comes to their activities prepared. So in my car, I'm very practical. I have extra water and a spare tire. But you can also say, I'm a very practical person. I like to do things that I can achieve, as opposed to someone who always wants to do things that they can't really achieve.
Okay. So a practical person is usually very realistic and very down to earth. Maybe someone that's practical, if they're going on a trip, they'll only take what's necessary, not more than they need.
Yeah, exactly. Let me give you a good example. I like to go hiking. And sometimes I see women who have not made very practical decisions about the shoes they wear. So I like to wear hiking boots. These are very practical. Wearing high heels on a mountain is not very practical.
That's right. Okay. Very good. Now, we also mentioned that a Capricorn is serious-minded and conventional in many ways.
Someone who's serious-minded maybe doesn't like to have fun and go out and do things that are silly. Someone who's serious-minded, is usually very practical, I think, and really has a goal, wants to achieve that goal. No time to be silly, no time to make jokes.
So it doesn't necessarily mean that the person is boring, but they're just very, as you said, practical.
That's
okay.
right.
And what about that a Capricorn also likes to do things in conventional ways?
All right, so conventional means doing something in a conventional way means that you're doing it in a traditional way. So this is a thing we've always done. We've always done it in this way, and I'm going to continue to do it in this way.
Okay.
So the opposite is unconventional. That means doing things in new ways, doing things with your imagination. And so something that's very conventional is something that, has been established, and we're just going to continue doing it that way.
So, for example, someone that gets married in a church is the conventional way, but someone that gets married while skydiving is very unconventional.
That's right. Unconventional.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Very good. So a lot of great vocab here. Why don't we listen to our dialogue one last time, and we'll be back to talk with you a little bit more.
Hey, Lydia, what are you reading?
I'm looking at my horoscope for this month. My outlook is very positive. It says that I should take a vacation to someplace exotic and that I will have a passionate summer fling.
What are you talking about? Let me see that. What are horoscopes?
It's a prediction of your month based on your zodiac sign. You have a different sign for the month and date you were born in. I was born on April 15th, so I'm an Aries. When were you born?
January 5th.
Let's see. You're a Capricorn. It says that you'll be feeling stress at work, but you could see new, exciting developments in your love life. Looks like we'll both have interesting summers.
That's bogus. I don't feel any stress at work, and my love life is practically non-existent. This zodiac stuff is all a bunch of nonsense.
No, it's not. Your astrology sign can tell you a lot about your personality. C. It says that an Aries is energetic and loves to socialize.
Well, you certainly match those criteria, but they're so broad they could apply to anyone. What does it say about me?
A Capricorn is serious-minded and practical. She likes to do things in conventional ways. That sounds just like you.
All right, so talk about the horoscopes. Which sign are you?
I'm a Leo, which is actually, I don't believe in the horoscope, but I have to say, every time someone tells me about Leos, Leo the lion, right? I agree with most of their descriptions of my personality. So, outspoken. Loves to socialize.
Okay.
Very opinionated, which means I have an opinion and I don't like to listen to other people. Loves to argue. Very loud. So these are all qualities that I think I have, and some of them are bad, some of them are good, but you know, it's the way it is.
So, but you don't really believe in what magazines or newspapers say about your outlook.
Nah, I don't. Yeah, the predictions are usually just basic guesses. But what about you? What's your sign?
I am a Taurus, so I was born in May.
A bull.
A bull, yes. So I'm very stubborn and very strong. I don't really know what all the characteristics about the Taurus are.
Opinionated.
Opinionated. I know that it's
Loves to
stubborn.
argue.
Yeah, exactly.
Doesn't like to be corrected.
Are you describing Taurus or are you describing me?
Both.
All right. So it's actually very interesting. I think in many ways, sometimes the glove does fit and someone's zodiac sign describes them very well. But again, maybe like the dialogue says, they are very broad descriptions that basically any person can relate to.
Absolutely. I think that's one of the tricks to horoscopes or to predicting someone's future. You tell them enough very vague things that maybe some of them will fit and some of them won't.
That's right.
But I'm very curious to hear about you guys. What are your signs? We usually does what's your sign? That means what's your zodiac sign?
That's right. That's actually also a very common date question. People say, "Oh, what's your sign?"
Or a pickup line.
Or a pickup line.
Hey, baby, what's your sign?
To see if you're compatible, right?
Right. So let us know. We're not trying to pick you up. We're just curious.
Abandon. Abandon. Example. The owner decided to abandon the old building due to its deteriorating condition. Feeling overwhelmed, she had to abandon her plans for a vacation. Abandoned. 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 Example. The abandoned house was covered in weeds and had broken windows. The puppy looked so sad and abandoned, wandering the streets alone. Ability. 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 Example. She has a remarkable ability to solve complex puzzles. His swimming abilities improved after taking lessons. Able. 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 Example. Despite her injury, she was still able to complete the marathon. The young prodigy was able to play multiple musical instruments. About. 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 Example. Let's talk about our plans for the weekend. The book is about the life of a famous scientist. Above. 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 Example. Hang the painting above the fireplace. The helicopter hovered above the city skyline. Abroad. 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 Example. They decided to study abroad to experience different cultures. She loves to travel and has been living abroad for years. Absence. 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 Example. His absence from the meeting was noticed by everyone. The teacher marked her absent because she was late. Absent. 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 Example. The student was absent from school due to illness. He often arrives late and is frequently absent from work. Absolute. 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 Example. She has absolute control over the company's finances. The athlete showed absolute determination to win the race. Absolutely. 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 Example. I am absolutely certain that I locked the door. The performance was absolutely stunning, receiving a standing ovation. Absorb. 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 Example. The sponge can absorb a large amount of water. She was absorbed in the captivating novel and couldn't put it down. Abuse. 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 Example. Child abuse is a serious societal issue that needs to be addressed. The victim suffered emotional abuse from their partner. Academic. 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 Example. He received an academic scholarship for his outstanding grades. The professor is known for his academic research in the field of physics. Accent. 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 Example. Her British accent was evident when she spoke. The actor practiced the Southern accent for his role in the movie. Accept. 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 Example. She accepted the job offer and will start next week. He couldn't accept the fact that his team lost the game. Acceptable. 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 Example. The hotel room was clean and the service was acceptable. His behavior at the party was not acceptable, and he was asked to leave. Access. 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 Example. You can gain access to the building with this keycard. The website requires a username and password for access. Accident. 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 Example. The car accident caused a major traffic jam. She spilled coffee on her shirt by accident. Accidental. 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 Example. The broken window was accidental and not intentional. He made an accidental discovery while experimenting in the lab. Accidentally. 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 Example. She accidentally deleted the important file from her computer. He bumped into her accidentally while rushing through the crowd. Accommodation. 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 Example. They booked a cozy accommodation near the beach for their vacation. The hotel provides accommodation for up to 200 guests. Accompany. 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 Example. She asked her friend to accompany her to the concert. The guide will accompany the tourists during the sightseeing tour. According to. According to. According to. Example. According to the weather forecast, it will rain tomorrow. According to the article, the company's profits have increased. Account. 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 Example. She opened a bank account to save money. The accountant reviewed the company's financial accounts. Account for. Account for. Account for. Example. The missing funds have yet to be accounted for. He needs to account for his absence from work yesterday. Accurate. 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 Example. The clock on the wall is very accurate, it never loses a minute. The detective's description of the suspect was remarkably accurate. Accurately. 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 Example. She measured the ingredients accurately for the recipe. The historian reconstructed the events as accurately as possible. Accuse. 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 Example. The witness accused the defendant of the crime. He was falsely accused of stealing the money. Achieve. 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 Example. She worked hard to achieve her goal of becoming a doctor. The team's hard work paid off, and they achieved victory. Achievement. 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 Example. Winning the competition was a great achievement for her. His academic achievements earned him a scholarship. Acid. 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 Example. Lemon juice contains citric acid. The scientist conducted experiments to study the effects of acid on metal. Acknowledge. 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 Example. He acknowledged her contribution to the project. The author acknowledged the sources of information in the bibliography. A couple. A couple. A couple. Example. They went on a romantic getaway for a couple of days. I need to buy a couple of apples from the grocery store. Acquire. 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 Example. He managed to acquire rare stamps for his collection. The company plans to acquire its competitor to expand its market share. Across. 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 Example. They walked across the bridge to reach the other side. She saw her friend across the crowded room and waved. Act. 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 Example. The play had 3 acts and an intermission. He has a talent for comedy and always steals the show with his acts. Action. 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 Example. The government needs to take immediate action to address the crisis. She filed a complaint against the company and demanded corrective action. Active. 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 Example. He leads an active lifestyle, regularly participating in sports. The volcano is currently active and erupting. Actively. 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 Example. She actively participates in community service projects. The company actively seeks new partnerships and collaborations. Activity. 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 Example. The children engaged in various outdoor activities during summer camp. Yoga and meditation are popular activities for relaxation. Actor. 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 Example. He is a talented actor who has appeared in many films. The theater company hired renowned actors for their production. Actress. 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 Example. She won an award for her role as the lead actress in the film. The actress delivered a powerful performance on stage. Actual. 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 Example. The actual cost of the car was higher than the advertised price. Despite their previous assumptions, the actual outcome was different. Actually. 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 Example. I thought I had lost my keys, but they were actually in my bag. The book was not what I expected, but it turned out to be actually quite interesting. Add. 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 Example. The newspaper is full of ads for various products and services. She posted an ad online to sell her used furniture. Adopt. 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 Example. The plant has adapted to survive in harsh desert conditions. He had to adapt his presentation to a different audience. Add. 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 Example. Please add milk to the shopping list. He decided to add a dash of cinnamon to enhance the flavor. Addition. 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 Example. In addition to the cake, she also baked cookies for the party. The company plans to make an addition to their product line. Additional. 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 Example. She needed additional time to complete the project. The company offered additional benefits to attract new employees. Add on. Add on. Add on. Example. You can add on extra features to your car for an additional cost. The hotel allows guests to add on a breakfast package to their reservation. Address. 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 Example. Please provide your address for shipping purposes. The President gave a speech at the address of the United Nations. Add up. Add up. Add up. Example. The numbers don't add up, there seems to be a mistake in the calculations. If you add up all the expenses, you'll see how much you spent on the trip. Add up to. Add up to. Add up to. Example. The costs of the project add up to a significant amount. His achievements add up to an impressive career. Adequate. 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 Example. The room was small but adequate for a short stay. The training provided adequate knowledge to perform the task. Adequately. 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 Example. She was adequately prepared for the exam and confident in her answers. The instructions were adequately explained, leaving no room for confusion. Adjust. 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 Example. Please adjust the temperature of the room to make it more comfortable. He needed to adjust his schedule to accommodate the new appointment. Admiration. 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 Example. She looked at the painting with admiration, appreciating the artist's skill. His hard work and dedication earned him the admiration of his colleagues. Admire. 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 Example. I admire her determination to succeed despite the challenges. He admired his father for his wisdom and guidance. Admit. 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 Example. He had to admit that he was wrong. The patient was admitted to the hospital for further observation. Adopt. 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 Example. They decided to adopt a child after struggling with infertility. The company adopted a new policy to improve employee satisfaction. Adult. 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 Example. Only adults are allowed in the casino. As an adult, she had to take responsibility for her actions. Advance. 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 Example. He asked for an advance on his salary to cover some urgent expenses. The team advanced to the final round of the competition. Advanced. 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 Example. She enrolled in an advanced math course to challenge herself. The technology used in the new smartphone is highly advanced. Advantage. 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 Example. Having a good education gives you an advantage in the job market. The team took advantage of the opponent's mistake and scored a goal. Adventure. 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 Example. They went on a thrilling adventure in the Amazon rainforest. The book is an exciting adventure filled with twists and turns. Advert. 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 Example. I saw an advert for a new movie on TV last night. The advert in the magazine caught her attention with its vibrant colors. Advertise. 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 Example. The company decided to advertise its new product on billboards. They advertised the job opening on various online platforms. Advertisement. 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 Example. The advertisement showcased the features of the latest smartphone. She responded to the advertisement and scheduled an interview. Advertising. 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 Example. He works in the field of advertising, creating catchy campaigns. The company allocated a large budget for online advertising. Advice. 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 Example. She gave me some good advice on how to deal with stress. I followed his advice and invested in the stock market. Advise. 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 Example. The lawyer advised his client on the legal implications of the contract. The doctor advised her to get plenty of rest to recover quickly. Affair. 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 Example. The scandal was the talk of the town, dominating every social affair. He had an extramarital affair that caused turmoil in his marriage. Affect. 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 Example. The bad weather affected the attendance at the outdoor event. His words deeply affected her, leaving her in tears. Affection. 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 Example. The mother hugged her child with affection after a long day. He showed his affection for his pet by showering it with treats. Afford. 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 Example. They couldn't afford to buy a new car at the moment. With her new job, she could afford to travel more frequently. Afraid. 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 Example. She was afraid of spiders and would scream whenever she saw one. He was afraid to take risks and preferred to stay in his comfort zone. After. 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 Example. Let's meet up for coffee after work. After the rain stopped, they went out to play. Afternoon. 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 Example. We had a picnic in the park on a sunny afternoon. The meeting is scheduled for tomorrow afternoon. Afterwards. 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 Example. They had an argument, but afterwards, they made up and apologized. She finished her work and went home afterwards. Again. 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 Example. He forgot his keys and had to go back home again. They watched the movie again because they enjoyed it so much. Against. 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 Example. The cat rubbed against my leg, seeking attention. They protested against the government's decision. Age. 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 Example. As you age, your body goes through various changes. The legal drinking age in this country is 21. Aged. 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 Example. The aged man sat on the park bench, feeding the pigeons. The library has a collection of aged books that are preserved carefully. Agency. 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 Example. She works for a travel agency, organizing vacations for clients. The government established an agency to handle environmental issues. Agent. 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 Example. The secret agent went undercover to gather information. The real estate agent showed them several houses before they made a decision. Aggressive. 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 Example: the aggressive dog barked and growled at strangers. The company adopted an aggressive marketing strategy to boost sales. Ago. 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 Example: they moved to a new city 6 months ago. I saw her perform live in concert many years ago. Agree. 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 Example: they finally agreed on a time and place for the meeting. I agree with your opinion on this matter. Agreement. 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 Example: they signed a rental agreement for the apartment. The two parties reached an agreement after long negotiations. Ahead. 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 Example: he worked hard to get ahead in his career. The car drove ahead, leaving the others behind. Aid. 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 Example: the organization provides aid to refugees in need. She offered her aid in the form of a donation. Aim. 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 Example: he aimed the dart and threw it at the bullseye. The company aims to expand its market share in the coming year. Air. 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 Example: the fresh air at the beach was invigorating. The airplane circled in the air before landing. Aircraft. 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 Example: the airport had various aircraft parked on the tarmac. The military conducted a flyover with their advanced aircraft. Airport. 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 Example: they arrived at the airport early to catch their flight. The airport was bustling with travelers from all over the world. Alarm. 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 Example: the loud alarm woke them up in the middle of the night. She set an alarm on her phone to remind her of the appointment. Alarmed. 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 Example: the neighbors were alarmed by the sound of breaking glass. He felt alarmed when he saw smoke coming out of the building. Alarming. 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 Example: the rise in crime rates was alarming to the community. The doctor gave her an alarming diagnosis that required immediate treatment. Alcohol. 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 Example. He decided to quit drinking alcohol for the sake of his health. The party had a wide selection of alcoholic beverages. Alcoholic. 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 Example. His father struggled with alcoholism for many years. The rehab center offers treatment programs for alcoholic individuals. Alive. 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 Example. The hiker was relieved to find the lost camper alive and well. The newborn baby cried, signaling that it was alive and breathing. All. 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 Example. She ate all the cookies in the jar. The students worked hard to complete all the assignments. Allied. 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 Example. The two countries formed an allied partnership to address common issues. The Allied forces fought together against the enemy during the war. Allow. 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 Example. The teacher allowed the students to use calculators during the exam. The rules don't allow pets in the building. Allow for. Allow for. Allow for. Example. The schedule allows for a short break between meetings. Please allow for some extra time in case of traffic delays. All right. All right. All right. Example. Don't worry, everything will be all right. She assured her friend that she was feeling all right after the accident. Ally. 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 Example. The country sought a strong ally to support its political agenda. The business formed an alliance with a competitor to enter new markets. Almost. 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 Example. She almost missed the bus but managed to catch it just in time. The puzzle is complete, you're almost there. Alone. 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 Example. He preferred to be alone when working on important projects. The child felt lonely and sad when left alone in the empty room. Along. 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 Example. They took a leisurely walk along the beach at sunset. She read the book aloud, and he followed along silently. Alongside. 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 Example. The new employee worked alongside her colleagues to complete the project. The boat sailed alongside the majestic whales. Allowed. 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 Example. She read the poem aloud, captivating the audience with her voice. The teacher asked the students to think aloud during the brainstorming session. Alphabet. 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 Example. The English alphabet consists of 26 letters. She taught her toddler to recognize the letters of the alphabet. Alphabetical. 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 Example. The names on the list are arranged in alphabetical order. The books on the shelf are organized alphabetically by the author's last names. Alphabetically. 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 Example. The directory is sorted alphabetically by last name. The index at the end of the book lists the topics alphabetically. Already. 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 Example. I have already finished my homework, so I can relax now. The movie had already started when they arrived at the theater. Also. 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 Example. He not only enjoys playing soccer but also excels at it. She loves chocolate, and she also has a fondness for ice cream. Alter. 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 Example. She decided to alter her hairstyle and dye her hair blonde. The tailor altered the dress to fit the customer perfectly. Alternative. 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 Example. If you don't like coffee, there's an alternative, herbal tea. He considered pursuing an alternative career path. Alternatively. 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 Example. You can either take the bus or, alternatively, walk to the station. If the restaurant is full, we can alternatively try the one next door. Although. 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 Example. Although it was raining, they decided to go for a hike. She studied hard, although she was tired from work. Altogether. 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 Example. I don't like that restaurant. The food is bad, and the service is slow. Altogether, it's a disappointing experience. She decided to quit her job altogether and pursue her passion. Always. 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 Example. He always arrives on time for meetings. She always has a smile on her face, no matter the circumstances. A.M. 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 Example. The meeting is scheduled for 10 a.m. She wakes up early at 6 a.m. every day. Amaze. 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 Example. The magician's tricks never failed to amaze the audience. The beauty of the sunset never ceases to amaze her. Amazed. 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 Example. She was amazed by the breathtaking view from the mountaintop. He was amazed at how quickly the team finished the project. Amazing. 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 Example. The acrobat's performance was amazing. The audience was in awe. The cake she baked was not only beautiful but also tasted amazing. Ambition. 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 Example. Her ambition was to become a successful entrepreneur. He pursued his ambition of becoming a professional musician. Ambulance. 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 Example. The ambulance arrived quickly to transport the injured person to the hospital. The paramedics treated the patient inside the ambulance. Among. 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 Example. The hidden treasure was buried among the rocks. She found her lost keys among the papers on her desk. Amount. 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 Example. The total amount of money raised for the charity exceeded expectations. The recipe calls for a small amount of salt. Amount to. Amount to. Amount to. Example. His actions amounted to a betrayal of trust. The evidence against the suspect amounted to a strong case. Amuse. 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 Example. The comedian's jokes never failed to amuse the audience. The children played games to amuse themselves during the long car ride. Amused. 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 Example. She was amused by her cat's playful antics. The clown's silly tricks kept the children entertained and amused. Amusing. 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 Example. The movie was hilarious. It was one of the most amusing comedies she had seen. The comedian's witty remarks and funny anecdotes were highly amusing. Analyze. 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 Example. The scientist used advanced equipment to analyze the data. The financial analyst carefully analyzed the company's financial statements. Analysis. 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 Example. The analysis of the survey results revealed interesting trends. The report included a detailed analysis of the market conditions. Ancient. 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 Example. The archaeologists discovered an ancient burial site. The city is known for its ancient architecture and historical landmarks. Ah. 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 Example. He likes both chocolate and vanilla ice cream. She went to the store to buy bread, milk, and eggs. Anger. 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 Example. His face turned red with anger when he heard the news. She expressed her anger by slamming the door. Angle. 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 Example. The photographer adjusted the camera to capture the perfect angle. He approached the problem from a different angle and found a solution. Angrily. 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 Example. She spoke angrily to her friend after the argument. He stormed out of the room, slamming the door angrily. Angry. 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 Example. The customer became angry when the product didn't work as promised. The driver honked the horn, making the angry pedestrian stop in their tracks. Animal. 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 Example. The zoo has a variety of different animals, including lions, elephants, and monkeys. She has a deep love for animals and volunteers at an animal shelter. Ankle. 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 Example. She sprained her ankle while playing basketball. He rolled his ankle while hiking and had to seek medical attention. Anniversary. 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 Example. They celebrated their 25th wedding anniversary with a grand party. The company marked its 50th anniversary with a special event. Announce. 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 Example. The spokesperson announced the new product launch during the press conference. The teacher announced the winner of the science fair competition. Annoy. 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 Example. The constant noise from the construction site annoyed the residents. Her little brother would purposely annoy her by hiding her belongings. Annoyed. 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 Example. She was annoyed by the repetitive questions from her classmates. He became annoyed when his computer froze in the middle of an important task. Annoying. 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 Example. The buzzing sound of the mosquito was annoying, interrupting her sleep. The continuous ads on the website were annoying for the users. Annual. 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 Example: the company holds an annual meeting to discuss its performance. The festival is an annual event that attracts visitors from all over the world. Annually. 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 Example: the report is published annually to provide an overview of the industry. The school holds its sports day annually in the spring. Another. 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 Example: she needs another cup of coffee to wake up in the morning. He bought another book by his favorite author. Answer. 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 Example: he gave a thoughtful answer to the interviewer's question. The student raised her hand to give an answer to the math problem. Anti. 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 Example: the company develops antivirus software to protect against computer threats. The organization campaigns for anti-discrimination laws. Anticipate. 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 Example: she eagerly anticipated the release of her favorite band's new album. The weather forecast anticipates heavy rain for the weekend. Anxiety. 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 Example: she experienced anxiety before giving a presentation. The uncertainty of the future filled him with anxiety. Anxious. 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 Example: he felt anxious about the upcoming job interview. She was anxious to see her test results. Anxiously. 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 Example: the students waited anxiously for their exam scores to be announced. He paced back and forth, anxiously awaiting the doctor's call. Any. 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 Example: do you have any questions about the assignment? She didn't have any money to buy lunch. Anybody. 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 Example: does anybody know the answer to this riddle? Anybody can participate in the event, it's open to everyone. Anyone. 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 Example: is there anyone who can help me with this problem? She didn't want to disappoint anyone, so she worked hard to meet everyone's expectations. Anything. 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 Example: you can choose anything from the menu, it's all delicious. He would do anything to make her happy. Anyway. 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 Example: I know it's late, but I'll come over anyway. The weather is bad, but we're going to the beach anyway. Anywhere. 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 Example. She couldn't find her keys anywhere in the house. They were ready to go on an adventure anywhere in the world. Apart. 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 Example. The two friends decided to live apart after their disagreement. The furniture was placed far apart in the spacious living room. Apart from. Apart from. Apart from. Example. Apart from the occasional phone call, they rarely communicated. She liked all the colors in the painting apart from the bright yellow. Apartment. 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 Example. They moved into a new apartment in the city center. She rented a small apartment near her workplace. Apologize. 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 Example. He had to apologize for his rude behavior at the party. She realized her mistake and immediately apologized to her friend. Apparent. 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 Example. The apparent reason for the delay was a technical issue. There was an apparent misunderstanding between the two parties. Apparently. 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 Example. He was apparently unaware of the changes made to the plan. She was apparently the only one who knew the secret. Appeal. 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 Example. The charity campaign had a strong appeal, and many people donated. The lawyer made a passionate appeal to the jury for a fair verdict. Appear. 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 Example. The sun began to appear over the horizon, signaling the start of a new day. She suddenly appeared at the door, surprising everyone in the room. Appearance. 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 Example. He always takes great care of his appearance before important meetings. The actress made a special appearance at the premiere of the movie. Apple. 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 Example. She took a bite of the juicy apple and smiled. He picked a ripe apple from the tree in the backyard. Application. 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 Example. He submitted his job application to multiple companies. The software application allows users to edit photos. Apply. 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 Example. She decided to apply for a scholarship to fund her studies. He applied sunscreen to protect his skin from the sun. Appoint. 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 Example. The board of directors appointed him as the new CEO. She was appointed as the head of the department. Appointment. 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 Example. She had a doctor's appointment in the afternoon. He scheduled an appointment with his financial advisor. Appreciate. 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 Example. I appreciate your help, it means a lot to me. She appreciates the beauty of nature and often goes on hikes. Approach. 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 Example. He approached the customer with a friendly smile. The team decided to approach the problem from a different angle. Appropriate. 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 Example. It's important to dress appropriately for a job interview. The teacher assigned age-appropriate books to the students. Approval. 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 Example. She eagerly awaited her boss's approval of her project proposal. The team celebrated when they received official approval for their plan. Approve. 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 Example. The committee approved the budget for the new project. The teacher approved their request for an extension on the assignment. Approving. 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 Example. She gave an approving nod when she saw the finished artwork. He received approving looks from his colleagues for his innovative idea. Approximate. 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 Example. The approximate cost of the renovation is around $10,000. They estimated an approximate arrival time of 2 p.m. Approximately. 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 Example. The journey takes approximately 3 hours by train. The package will be delivered in approximately 5 business days. April. 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 Example. Her birthday is in April, so we're planning a surprise party. They got married on a sunny day in April. Area. 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 Example. The park has a large picnic area for families to enjoy. She lives in a residential area with beautiful houses. Argue. 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 Example. They always argue about politics whenever they meet. The siblings argued over who would get the last piece of cake. Argument. 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 Example. The couple had a heated argument about finances. He presented a strong argument in favor of his proposal. Arise. 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 Example. Unexpected issues arose during the construction process. A conflict arose between the two colleagues over a misunderstanding. Arm. 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 Example. She wore a bracelet on her wrist and a watch on her arm. He lifted the heavy box with his strong arms. Armed. 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 Example. The security guard was armed with a gun to protect the premises. The soldiers were heavily armed and ready for battle. Arms. 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 Example. The couple embraced in each other's arms. She carried her baby in her arms. Army. 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 Example. He served in the army for several years before retiring. The country's army is known for its discipline and strength. Around. 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 Example. The children ran around the playground, laughing and playing. She tied a ribbon around the gift box to make it look more festive. Arrange. 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 Example. She arranged the flowers in a beautiful vase. He arranged a meeting with the client to discuss the project. Arrangement. 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 Example. The wedding planner made all the necessary arrangements for the ceremony. The seating arrangement in the classroom was changed to improve interaction among students. Arrest. 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 Example. The police arrested the suspect after a long investigation. The security guard attempted to arrest the shoplifter. Arrival. 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 Example. The arrival of the train was delayed by an hour. The airport was crowded with people waiting for the arrivals. Arrive. 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 Example. We will arrive at the hotel around 8 p.m. She always arrives early for work to avoid traffic. Arrive at. Arrive at. Arrive at. Example. After much deliberation, they finally arrived at a decision. The investigation team arrived at the crime scene to gather evidence. Arrow. 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 Example. The archer shot the arrow and hit the bullseye. The signpost had an arrow pointing to the right. Art. 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 Example. The museum displayed various forms of art, including paintings and sculptures. She enjoys creating art using different mediums, such as watercolors and clay. Article. 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 Example. I read an interesting article about climate change in the newspaper. The grammar book explained the proper use of definite and indefinite articles. Artificial. 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 Example. The artificial flowers looked surprisingly real. The company developed an artificial intelligence system to improve customer service. Artificially. 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 Example. The flavors in the food were artificially enhanced with additives. The athlete was accused of artificially boosting his performance with banned substances. Artist. 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 Example. Picasso was a renowned artist known for his unique style. She aspired to become a professional artist and exhibit her work in galleries. Artistic. 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 Example. The gallery showcased a collection of artistic photographs. Her dancing was praised for its artistic expression and grace. Artistically. 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 Example. The sculptures were artistically arranged in the exhibition hall. She painted the mural with great skill and artistically blended the colors. As. 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 Example. I will do it as soon as possible. As an English teacher, I enjoy reading books. Ashamed. 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 Example. He felt ashamed of his behavior at the party. She was too ashamed to admit her mistake. Aside. 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 Example. She set aside some money for emergencies. He put his personal feelings aside and made a rational decision. Aside from. Aside from. Aside from. Example. Aside from English, she can also speak Spanish fluently. The book was well written, aside from a few typos. Ask. 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 Example. I will ask the teacher for clarification. She asked me if I wanted to go to the movies. Asleep. 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 Example. The baby fell asleep in her mother's arms. He was so tired that he fell asleep on the couch. Aspect. 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 Example. The project had many different aspects that needed to be considered. She focused on the positive aspects of the situation. Assist. 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 Example. The nurse will assist the doctor during the surgery. Can you assist me with carrying these boxes? Assistance. 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 Example. The organization provides financial assistance to those in need. He sought assistance from a career counselor to help him find a job. Assistant. 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 Example. She hired an assistant to help manage her busy schedule. The professor's assistant graded the students' papers. Associate. 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 Example. He tends to associate cold weather with the holiday season. The brand is often associated with luxury and high quality. Associated. 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 Example. The company has been associated with several successful product launches. Smoking is strongly associated with an increased risk of lung cancer. Association. 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 Example. He is a member of the local artists' association. The study found a strong association between exercise and improved mental health. Assume. 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 Example. You should not assume that everyone shares your opinion. The detective assumed that the suspect had a motive for the crime. Assure. 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 Example. The doctor assured the patient that the procedure would be safe. He assured his parents that he would study hard for the exam. At. 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 Example. Let's meet at the park tomorrow. She waved at me from across the room. Atmosphere. 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 Example. The restaurant had a cozy atmosphere with dim lighting and soft music. The atmosphere in the stadium was electric as the home team scored a winning goal. Atom. 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 Example. The atom is the basic unit of matter. The scientist studied the structure of the atom using a powerful microscope. Attach. 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 Example. Please attach the files to the email and send them to me. The document had a note attached to it explaining the revisions. Attached. 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 Example. The report had an attached appendix with additional data. He sent an email with the photo attached. Attack. 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 Example. The lioness will attack if she feels threatened. The hacker launched a cyber attack on the company's website. Attempt. 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 Example. He made an attempt to climb the mountain but had to turn back due to bad weather. The suspect's attempt to rob the bank was foiled by the security guard. Attempted. 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 Example. The police arrested a man for an attempted burglary. She survived an attempted assassination but was injured in the process. Attend. 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 Example. I will attend the meeting tomorrow. She attends yoga classes twice a week. Attend to. Attend to. Attend to. Example. The nurse will attend to your needs shortly. He needed to attend to his urgent matters before going on vacation. Attention. 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 Example. The teacher asked the students to pay attention to the lesson. The loud noise caught everyone's attention. Attitude. 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 Example. She has a positive attitude towards challenges and never gives up. The employee's negative attitude affected the team's morale. Attorney. 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 Example. The attorney represented the defendant in court. She hired an attorney to help her with the legal documents. Attract. 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 Example. The colorful flowers attract butterflies. The company used a catchy jingle to attract customers. Attraction. 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 Example. The Eiffel Tower is a popular tourist attraction in Paris. The theme park offers various attractions for visitors of all ages. Attractive. 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 Example. He is a talented and attractive actor. The advertisement featured an attractive model promoting the product. Audience. 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 Example. The concert attracted a large audience of music lovers. The speaker captivated the audience with her inspiring words. August. 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 Example. My birthday is in August. They are planning a vacation for the month of August. Aunt. 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 Example. I visited my aunt during the holidays. Her aunt baked delicious cookies for the family gathering. Author. 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 Example. Shakespeare is considered one of the greatest authors in English literature. The author of the book explores themes of love and loss. Authority. 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 Example. The police have the authority to enforce the law. The professor spoke with authority on the subject of neuroscience. Automatic. 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 Example. The car has automatic transmission. The sprinkler system is set to automatic mode. Automatically. 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 Example. The lights in the hallway turn on automatically when someone enters. The program automatically saves your work every few minutes. Autumn. 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 Example. The leaves change color in autumn. They went apple picking in the beautiful autumn weather. Available. 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 Example. Is the room available for tonight? The book is currently not available in stores. Average. 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 Example. She scored an average of 85% on the test. The company's profits were slightly below average this quarter. Avoid. 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 Example. I try to avoid eating sugary snacks. He decided to avoid rush hour traffic by leaving early. Awake. 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 Example. I was wide awake and couldn't fall back asleep. The noise from the construction kept me awake all night. Award. 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 Example. The actress received an award for her outstanding performance. The Nobel Prize is a prestigious award in the field of science. Aware. 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 Example. She became aware of the danger and acted quickly. The students were not aware of the new assignment. Away. 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 Example. Please keep away from the edge of the cliff. He moved away from his hometown to pursue his career. Awful. 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 Example. The food at that restaurant was awful. She had an awful headache and couldn't concentrate. Awfully. 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 Example. The weather was awfully hot during the summer. I felt awfully tired after the long journey. Awkward. 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 Example. He felt awkward in social situations and struggled to make conversation. The dancer had an awkward stumble during the performance. Awkwardly. 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 Example. She smiled awkwardly when she realized her mistake. He walked awkwardly in his new shoes. Baby. 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 Example. The couple is expecting a baby in a few months. The baby giggled when the toy made a funny sound. Back. 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 Example. He has a pain in his lower back. The back of the chair was cushioned for comfort. Background. 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 Example. She has a background in marketing. The music played softly in the background. Back up. Back up. Back up. Example. Remember to back up your files regularly to avoid data loss. The company decided to back up their claims with scientific research. Backward. 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 Example. The backward region received additional funding for development. The team took a backward step in their progress. Backwards. 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 Example. He walked backwards to get a better view of the painting. The car slowly moved backwards down the hill. Bacteria. 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 Example. Bacteria can be found everywhere, including on surfaces and in the human body. The doctor prescribed antibiotics to kill the harmful bacteria. Bad. 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 Example. The weather forecast for tomorrow looks bad. He had a bad experience at the restaurant. Badly. 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 Example. The car was badly damaged in the accident. She wanted to win the competition badly. Bad-tempered. 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 Example: the bad-tempered customer complained about the service. The professor was known for being bad-tempered in class. Bag, bag, bag. Example: she carried her books in a backpack. He bought a new laptop bag for his computer. Baggage, baggage, baggage. Example: the airline lost my baggage during the flight. He struggled to lift his heavy baggage onto the luggage cart. Bake, bake, bake. Example: she likes to bake cookies for special occasions. They baked a delicious cake for the birthday party. Balance, balance, balance. Example: maintaining a healthy work-life balance is important for overall well-being. The gymnast demonstrated great balance during her routine. Ball, ball, ball. Example: the children played catch with a ball in the park. She hit the ball with a tennis racket. Ban, ban, ban. Example: the government decided to ban smoking in public places. The school banned the use of mobile phones during class. Band, band, band. Example: the band played live music at the concert. She joined a local band as the lead vocalist. Bandage, bandage, bandage. Example: he wrapped the wound with a clean bandage. The nurse applied a bandage to the injured athlete's knee. Bank, bank, bank. Example: she went to the bank to deposit her paycheck. The bank offered low-interest loans to small businesses. Bar, bar, bar. Example: they met at a bar for drinks after work. The chocolate bar was her favorite treat. Bargain, bargain, bargain. Example: the store had a sale, and she found a great bargain on a dress. He negotiated a bargain price for the used car. Barrier, barrier, barrier. Example: the language barrier made communication difficult. The security barrier prevented unauthorized access. Base, base, base. Example: the army set up a base in the desert. The cake was decorated with a chocolate base and fresh fruit. Based, based, based. Example: The movie is based on a true story. The company's decision was based on market research. Base on. Base on. Base on. Example. The report was based on extensive research conducted over several months. Her opinion is based on personal experience. Basic. 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 Example. She taught the students basic math skills. The book provides a basic introduction to computer programming. Basically. 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 Example. The recipe is basically just eggs and flour. Basically, the plan is to finish the project by next week. Basis. 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 Example. The team meets on a weekly basis to discuss progress. He makes decisions on a case-by-case basis. Bath. 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 Example. I took a relaxing bath to unwind after a long day. The bathroom has a bathtub and a shower. Bathroom. 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 Example. The bathroom is down the hall on the left. She decorated the bathroom with colorful tiles. Battery. 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 Example. The remote control needs new batteries. The electric car has a rechargeable battery. Battle. 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 Example. The soldiers fought a fierce battle against the enemy. The cancer patient faced a long and difficult battle. Bay. 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 Example. They sailed into a picturesque bay with crystal clear water. The hotel room had a beautiful view of the bay. B. 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 Example. I want to be a doctor when I grow up. She is a talented musician. Beach. 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 Example. They spent the day relaxing on the beach. The beach was crowded with sunbathers and swimmers. Beak. 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 Example. The bird used its beak to crack open the seed. The toucan has a colorful beak. Bear. 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 Example. The mother bear protects her cubs. He couldn't bear the thought of leaving his family. Bear. 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 Example. The teddy bear is his favorite cuddly toy. We saw a wild bear in the national park. Beard. 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 Example. He had a long, bushy beard that reached down to his chest. The old man stroked his beard thoughtfully as he pondered the question. Beat. 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 Example. The drummer began to beat the drums rhythmically. He could hear his heart beating loudly in his chest. Beat up. Beat up. Beat up. Example. The gang beat up the poor man and stole his wallet. He was badly beaten up in the fight and had to go to the hospital. Beautiful. 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 Example. The sunset over the ocean was a beautiful sight to behold. She wore a beautiful dress that caught everyone's attention. Beautifully. 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 Example. The flowers in the garden bloomed beautifully in the spring. The orchestra played the symphony beautifully, captivating the audience. Beauty. 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 Example. She possessed a rare beauty that radiated from within. The beauty of the landscape left him speechless. Because. 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 Example. She couldn't go to the party because she had to work late. He couldn't concentrate because of the loud noise in the room. Because of. Because of. Because of. Example. They arrived late because of heavy traffic on the highway. The event was cancelled because of bad weather conditions. Become. 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 Example. After years of hard work, he finally became a successful entrepreneur. The caterpillar will soon become a butterfly through metamorphosis. Bed. 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 Example. She sank into the soft bed and fell asleep immediately. The children jumped up and down on the bed, laughing. Bedroom. 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 Example. Their new house had a spacious master bedroom with a balcony. He converted the small attic into a cozy bedroom for his son. Beef. 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 Example. They ordered a juicy steak made from prime beef at the restaurant. The chili recipe called for ground beef and beans. Beer. 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 Example. He enjoyed sipping a cold beer while watching the football game. The bartender served a frothy glass of beer to the customer. Before. 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 Example: please arrive at least 10 minutes before the scheduled meeting time. The letter must be sent before the deadline to be considered. Begin. 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 Example: the concert will begin promptly at 8 p.m. She took a deep breath and began her presentation. Beginning. 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 Example: the beginning of the movie was slow, but it quickly picked up pace. The teacher asked the students to write a short paragraph about the beginning of their summer vacation. Behalf. 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 Example: the lawyer spoke on behalf of his client during the trial. She accepted the award on behalf of the entire team. Behave. 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 Example: the children were expected to behave well at the wedding ceremony. The dog was trained to behave properly in public places. Behavior. 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 Example: his erratic behavior raised concerns among his friends. The school implemented a code of conduct to promote positive behavior. Behind. 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 Example: the car suddenly appeared from behind the building. He hid behind the tree to surprise his friends. Be left over. Be left over. Be left over. Example: after the party, there were many leftovers that could be eaten the next day. The recipe called for 2 cups of milk, but there was only a small amount left over. Belief. 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 Example: his strong belief in himself helped him overcome many challenges. The religious ceremony was a celebration of shared beliefs. Believe. 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 Example: she couldn't believe her eyes when she saw the surprise party. He didn't believe the rumor until he heard it from a reliable source. Believe in. Believe in. Believe in. Example: she strongly believed in the power of positive thinking. He believed in the importance of education for personal growth. Bell. 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 Example: the church bell rang, signaling the start of the wedding ceremony. The doorbell chimed, announcing the arrival of a visitor. Belong. 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 Example: the antique vase belongs to my grandmother. This book doesn't belong on that shelf, it should be in the fiction section. Belong to. Belong to. Belong to. Example: The key belongs to the locked drawer in the study. The responsibilities of this position belong to the new team leader. Below. 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 Example. The temperature dropped below freezing during the winter night. Please sign your name below the dotted line. Belt. 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 Example. He tightened his belt before stepping on the weighing scale. The karate champion wore a black belt as a symbol of his expertise. Bend. 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 Example. She carefully bent the wire into the shape of a heart. The road ahead began to bend, curving through the mountains. Beneath. 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 Example. The treasure was hidden beneath the old oak tree. He found his lost keys beneath a pile of papers on his desk. Benefit. 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 Example. Regular exercise has many health benefits, including improved cardiovascular fitness. The company provides a range of employee benefits, such as health insurance and retirement plans. Bent. 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 Example. The tree branches were bent under the weight of heavy snow. He noticed a bent corner on the page of his favorite book. Beside. 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 Example. She sat beside her best friend during the concert. The new building was built beside the old one. Best. 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 Example. The best time to visit the beach is during the summer. The team gave their best performance and won the championship. Bet. 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 Example. He placed a bet on the horse with the highest odds. Let's make a bet to see who can finish their dinner first. Better. 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 Example. She bought a better camera to capture high-quality photos. The new medicine provided better pain relief than the previous one. Betting. 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 Example. Betting on sports is a popular form of entertainment for many people. He got addicted to online betting and lost a significant amount of money. Between. 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 Example. The town is located between the mountains and the sea. The book was hidden between the cushions of the sofa. Beyond. 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 Example. Her efforts went beyond expectations, earning her a promotion. The view from the top of the mountain was beyond breathtaking. Bicycle. 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 Example. He rode his bicycle to work every day to save money on transportation. The children learned to ride a bicycle with the help of training wheels. Bid. 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 Example. The highest bid for the artwork was $10,000. She made a bid for the contract and hoped to win the project. Big. 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 Example. The elephant was a big animal with large tusks. They moved into a big house with multiple bedrooms. Bike. 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 Example. He enjoys going for long rides on his mountain bike. She bought a new bike to commute to school. Bill. 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 Example. The waiter brought the bill after they finished their meal. She received a large phone bill due to excessive data usage. Billion. 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 Example. The company's revenue reached billions of dollars last year. He won $1 billion in the lottery and became an instant millionaire. Bin. 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 Example. He threw the empty cans into the recycling bin. The garbage bin was overflowing with trash. Biology. 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 Example. She studied biology in college and became a biologist. The biology lab was equipped with microscopes and lab equipment. Bird. 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 Example. The bird chirped happily in the tree outside her window. She spotted a colorful bird with vibrant feathers in the forest. Birth. 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 Example. The baby's birth brought joy to the entire family. She celebrated her 50th birthday with a grand party. Birthday. 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 Example. They surprised her with a cake and gifts on her birthday. He received many birthday wishes from friends and family. Biscuit. 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 Example. She enjoyed a cup of tea with a freshly baked biscuit. He spread some butter on the warm biscuit and took a bite. Bit. 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 Example. She took a small bit of chocolate and savored the rich flavor. He felt a bit tired after a long day at work. Bite. 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 Example. The mosquito bite left an itchy red bump on her arm. He bit into the juicy apple and tasted its sweetness. Bitter. 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 Example. The bitter cold of winter made her shiver uncontrollably. They had a bitter argument and didn't speak to each other for days. Bitterly. 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 Example. She cried bitterly when she heard the sad news. He complained bitterly about the poor service at the restaurant. Black. 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 Example. She wore a stylish black dress to the party. The night sky was adorned with twinkling black stars. Blade. 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 Example. He sharpened the blade of the knife before slicing the vegetables. The grass was cut evenly by the lawnmower's sharp blade. Blame. 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 Example. He tried to blame his mistakes on someone else. She couldn't help but blame herself for the accident. Blank. 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 Example. She stared at the blank page, unsure of what to write. The computer screen displayed a blank document waiting to be filled. Blind. 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 Example. The blind man navigated the streets with the help of a white cane. She closed her eyes and walked blindly through the obstacle course. Block. 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 Example. The children built a tall tower using colorful blocks. The traffic jam caused a block in the city center. Blonde. 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 Example. She had long, flowing blonde hair that shimmered in the sunlight. The actress played the role of a blonde bombshell in the movie. Blood. 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 Example. The nurse drew some blood for the medical tests. He accidentally cut his finger, and blood started to flow. Blow. 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 Example. The wind blew gently through the trees, rustling the leaves. He blew on the hot soup to cool it down before taking a sip. Blow out. Blow out. Blow out. Example. She blew out the candles on her birthday cake and made a wish. He blew out the match after lighting the candle. Blow up. Blow up. Blow up. Example. The kids blew up balloons for the party decoration. The angry customer threatened to blow up the store with a bomb. Blue. 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 Example. The sky was clear and blue on a sunny day. She painted the walls of her room a calming shade of blue. Bored. 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 Example. The passengers waited at the boarding gate for their flight. He wrote the agenda on the whiteboard for the meeting. Boat. 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 Example. They went fishing on a small boat in the lake. The cruise ship was a luxurious boat with multiple decks. Body. 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 Example. She exercised regularly to keep her body fit and healthy. The accident caused severe injuries to his body. Boil. 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 Example. She boiled water to make a cup of tea. The soup needs to boil for at least 15 minutes. Bomb. 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 Example. The terrorist attack was carried out with a powerful bomb. The bomb squad safely defused the explosive device. Bone. 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 Example. The dog gnawed on a bone to clean its teeth. He broke a bone in his arm after falling from the tree. Book. 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 Example. She enjoyed reading a good book on a rainy day. He borrowed a book from the library for his research. Boot. 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 Example. She put on her boots before going for a hike. The cowboy wore a pair of leather boots. Border. 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 Example. The river formed a natural border between the two countries. The garden was lined with flowers along its border. Bore. 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 Example. The lecture on quantum physics bored the students. He was easily bored by repetitive tasks. Bored. 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 Example. The bored child started to fidget in his seat. She felt bored during the long wait at the airport. Boring. 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 Example. The documentary turned out to be incredibly boring. He found his job mundane and boring. Born. 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 Example. The baby was born on a sunny morning in June. She was born and raised in a small town. Borrow. 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 Example. Can I borrow your pen for a moment? He borrowed money from his friend to pay the rent. Boss. 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 Example. She reported to her boss on the progress of the project. The boss commended his employees for their hard work. Both. 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 Example. Both of the students received awards for their achievements. She liked both the red and blue dresses but had to choose one. Bother. 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 Example. Please don't bother him, he's busy working. The constant noise bothered her while she was studying. Bottle. 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 Example. He poured a glass of water from the bottle. She collected empty glass bottles for recycling. Bottom. 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 Example. The book was hidden at the bottom of the stack. They reached the bottom of the hill and took a rest. Bound. 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 Example. The prisoner was bound by handcuffs and escorted to the police car. She felt bound by her responsibilities and couldn't take a break. Bowl. 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 Example. He ate a bowl of hot soup to warm himself up. The bowl was filled with fresh fruits for a healthy snack. Box. 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 Example. She packed her belongings into a cardboard box. He received a gift in a beautifully wrapped box. Boy. 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 Example. The little boy ran across the playground, chasing a ball. She read a bedtime story to her young boy. Boyfriend. 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 Example. She introduced her boyfriend to her parents for the first time. He surprised his girlfriend with flowers on their anniversary. Brain. 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 Example. The brain is the most complex organ in the human body. She used her brain to solve the challenging puzzle. Branch. 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 Example. The bird perched on a branch of the tree and sang a melodious tune. They walked along the forest path, surrounded by tall branches. Brand. 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 Example. He preferred to buy products from a trusted brand. The company launched a new brand of smartphones. Brave. 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 Example. The firefighter showed great bravery while rescuing people from the burning building. She summoned her courage and took a brave step forward. Bread. 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 Example. She toasted a slice of bread and spread butter on it. He bought a loaf of fresh bread from the bakery. Break. 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 Example. He tried to break the glass with a hammer. She needed to break the bad news to her friend gently. Break down. Break down. Break down. Example. The car broke down in the middle of the highway. She couldn't handle the stress and broke down in tears. Breakfast. 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 Example. They enjoyed a hearty breakfast of eggs, bacon, and toast. She skipped breakfast and grabbed a quick snack on her way to work. Break in. Break in. Break in. Example. The burglars tried to break in through the back door. She called the police when she noticed signs of a break-in. Break into. Break into. Break into. Example. The hackers managed to break into the company's database. He used a crowbar to break into the locked cabinet. Break off. Break off. Break off. Example. They decided to break off their engagement after realizing they weren't compatible. The negotiations broke off without reaching a resolution. Break out. Break out. Break out. Example. The prisoners managed to break out of their cells and escape. The measles outbreak caused panic in the community. Break up. Break up. Break up. Example. They decided to break up and go their separate ways. The teacher had to break up the fight between two students. Breast. 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 Example. The baby nursed at his mother's breast. She underwent surgery to remove a lump in her breast. Breath. 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 Example. She took a deep breath and tried to calm her nerves. He could feel the warm breath of the dog on his hand. Breathe. 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 Example. She took a moment to breathe and collect her thoughts. He practiced deep breathing exercises to relax. Breathe in. Breathe in. Breathe in. Example. The yoga instructor instructed the class to breathe in deeply. She closed her eyes and breathed in the fresh scent of flowers. Breathe out. Breathe out. Breathe out. Example. He exhaled slowly, breathing out all the tension. She blew out the candles, and a breath of smoke filled the air. Breathing. 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 Example. The doctor listened to her breathing using a stethoscope. He noticed her rapid breathing and suspected she was anxious. Breed. 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 Example. They decided to breed their 2 dogs to have puppies. He has been breeding horses for many years. Brick. 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 Example. The wall was made of red bricks. He dropped a brick, and it shattered into pieces. Bridge. 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 Example. They crossed the bridge over the river to reach the other side. The bridge collapsed under the weight of the heavy truck. Brief. 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 Example. He gave a brief introduction before starting the presentation. She provided a brief summary of the novel's plot. Briefly. 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 Example. She spoke briefly about her recent trip to Europe. The professor explained the concept briefly during the lecture. Bright. 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 Example. The sun shone brightly in the clear blue sky. She wore a bright yellow dress that caught everyone's attention. Brightly. 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 Example. The stars twinkled brightly in the night sky. The room was lit brightly with multiple lamps. Brilliant. 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 Example. She received a brilliant idea that solved the problem. His performance in the play was absolutely brilliant. Bring. 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 Example. Please bring your textbooks to class tomorrow. He forgot to bring his wallet and couldn't pay for the meal. Bring back. Bring back. Bring back. Example. The smell of the freshly baked bread brought back childhood memories. She brought back a souvenir from her trip to Paris. Bring down. Bring down. Bring down. Example. The scandal brought down the politician's career. The strong winds brought down several trees in the area. Bring forward. Bring forward. Bring forward. Example. They decided to bring the meeting forward to accommodate everyone's schedule. She brought the deadline forward to finish the project earlier. Bring out. Bring out. Bring out. Example. The new software update brings out additional features. The book launch brought out a large crowd of fans. Bring up. Bring up. Bring up. Example. She was brought up by her grandparents after her parents' death. He didn't want to bring up the topic during the family dinner. Broad. 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 Example. The road was broad enough to accommodate multiple lanes of traffic. She has a broad knowledge of various subjects. Broadcast. 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 Example. The radio station broadcasts news and music throughout the day. The live concert was broadcasted to millions of viewers. Broadly. 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 Example. The plan was broadly discussed among the team members. She smiled broadly when she received the good news. Broken. 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 Example. The broken vase lay shattered on the floor. He had a broken leg and needed crutches to walk. Brother. 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 Example. Her older brother always looked out for her. They were twins, but her brother was born a few minutes earlier. Brown. 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 Example. The dog had a coat of beautiful, shiny brown fur. She painted the walls of her bedroom in a warm brown color. Brush. 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 Example. He used a brush to paint the artwork. She brushed her hair to make it smooth and neat. Bubble. 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 Example. The children blew bubbles and laughed as they floated in the air. The hot water in the pot formed bubbles as it boiled. Budget. 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 Example. They created a budget to track their monthly expenses. The company's budget for marketing increased this year. Build. 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 Example. They hired a construction company to build their dream house. He used his own hands to build a wooden table. Building. 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 Example. The tall building dominated the city skyline. The historic building was renovated to preserve its architectural beauty. Build up. Build up. Build up. Example. He worked hard to build up his savings over the years. The tension between them had been building up for months. Bullet. 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 Example. The detective found a bullet casing at the crime scene. The soldier loaded his gun with bullets before going into battle.